Hi guys, I'm back to talk about my latest thrifting haul. I also bought things this week on an auction website that auctions out estate sales, and I went to a couple of estate sales today with my mom. So I wanted to share with you some of the things I've gotten before I process them so you can kind of see what my initial process is like. So how I get them, what do I do with them, what kind of research do I do, and how am I going to plan to clean them up. So the first thing I want to show you is something I bought at an auction yesterday. I actually got in a bidding war on this item. It was in a lot with two other pieces. So this is a Wagner Ware Magnalite tea kettle. Now I've sold Wagner ware before, but only saucepans, and they sell really well. This is cast aluminum. Their pieces are cast aluminum, and they're great for cooking. Like old school, traditional, especially Southern chefs love these pots. And so when I saw this, and I saw they had two other lots of Wagner ware Magnalite pots, and then they had a big skillet as well, which was super cool. I kind of got in a bidding war because I really like them and I know that they sell in my shop and I like having them and I love vintage cookware. So I'm going to say the bidding got kind of intense. And on this particular lot, I knew that this kettle was rare and I knew that it was pretty valuable. And so I kind of let the other two lots go because there were saucepans in that skillet. I let them go so I could focus on this one. And I paid too much. I know I paid too much. I paid $190 for the kettle and the two saucepans. This kettle in really nice condition is worth probably about $350. In this condition, it's worth maybe $200. So I might make my money back when I sell this kettle. The two saucepans are maybe $50 a piece when I clean them up. I left them in my car because they're not as interesting, but the kettle is super cool. All right, so it's on the bottom. Now I haven't done any cleaning. I just got this today. So you have Wagner ware, Magnalite, and then you've got the item number down here on the bottom, 4133M. That's the one. This tea kettle is in the MoMA Museum. This tea kettle is on collectors' websites. This is kind of an iconic design. So what flummoxed me when I got this was, how on earth do you open it? This is not a whistling tea kettle, so there's no cover on the spout. But I'm like, okay, somehow you've got to open it. But you see the lid here is connected to the handle. So you've got a connection here on the actual lid and a connection here on the body of the kettle. So when I got home, well, I went to my mom's house. When I got to my mom's house, I did some research and I had to search quite a few sites before I found the answer. And I actually found the answer on the MoMA's website on their listing for this kettle. There are two screws. So one screw here and one screw here. This has a flathead screw here and you have to unscrew it. So it's what they called a semi-permanent lid. So you're not supposed to clean it out after every use. And I don't know if this was just kind of the thriftiness of the 1930s when this was designed, or if this had some other intent. I'd have to look at it a little bit more to see. The only real flaw that this one has is that there's a crack here in the handle. This is not something that can be repaired, unfortunately. What I'm going to do with this is some light cleaning. I've seen examples online that are shiny, 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 and I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to clean and maybe do a light buff. I'm going to see what it looks like after I clean it because it is really dirty right now. You can see all the spots. It's got dust on it. My hands are getting dirty. So I am going to take this off so I can clean inside. I don't want to sell somebody a dirty tea kettle. So I'm going to clean it. I'm going to see how it is. I'm going to do some more research and see, because what I don't want to do is lower the value by cleaning it. So I know with things like antique furniture, you definitely don't want to strip it because you decrease or sometimes kill the value by doing that. So I don't want to go overboard and actually do damage. So this is cool find number one. This was at an online auction. And like I said, I paid a little bit too much for it, but it's cool. I really like it. I'm confident that it's going to sell. It might take a little while, but it's going to sell. And it's a really rare and cool piece. Another thing that I got that was kind of cool. And I also paid a little bit too much for this one. But this is a convex, oh look, woo! This is a convex Federalist mirror. Now you might have seen mirrors like this before. I actually have one up on my wall, you can see. Now the one that I have is like plastic. It's just made to look like wood. The original ones from the 1700s were of course wood, and they were gilt. And they probably had mercury glass. And if you want, I can tell you more about mercury glass in another video, or how to identify antique glass. This one is a more modern reproduction, and I'm pretty confident that this is post World War II, because on the back there is this tag that has maker information on it. Now what the tag does not have is anything about the company that manufactured this, but I think maybe with a little bit of research I can find it. I've already started to do research on this one, and it's been kind of difficult. So one of the biggest things that it makes this one different is that most of these convex mirrors have balls here. So even the one that I have on my wall over here, I'll go back over there, it has these little round balls. This one has 13 stars. And then also here and here, these are flags. So sometimes you might see one that has like a little kind of maybe a floral detail here, or something like a ribbon, but these are actually flags and stars. So to me, this seems like a 1976 like bicentennial thing that they did. It is wood, and so it's possible that it could be older, but this is certainly not an antique. So the other thing that is kind of disappointing is that there's a crack here. You can see it right there. And then there's definitely some scuffs here. This is another item though, where to me, these details, these features add to the charm of the piece. I love pieces that have stories with them, that have a life lived, a life loved. This one hung on somebody's wall. These are probably from moving. Somebody took it with them, and it got bumped and scratched and cracked over the years, but they didn't toss it in the trash, they kept it. And it's a gorgeous little mirror with a lot of charm and a lot of character. Now, this one's not gonna be for sale. Steve actually fell in love with this one and he's going to keep it. So that's how it goes sometimes. But it is a really cool little mirror. Let's see, what else? I'm gonna skip over to something I found at the thrift store yesterday. Now, I made a story on my Instagram about the Detective Pikachu that I found, but I also found something that I never thought I would see out in the wild. Tickle Me Elmo from 1995. Yeah, the Tickle Me Elmo. Now the box is in really poor condition, and it's been through some stuff. So the top is gone, it's torn, you know. We've still got the stuff on the bottom. It says, oh, I'm sorry, not 1995, 1996. Is that 1996 on the bottom? There's where you can see I paid $21 for it. I found that using a hot blow dryer on these gets these stickers off without causing more damage. So again, I never want to cause more damage to the piece. I'm going to be as least invasive as possible when I do cleaning. But the amazing part to me is, as bad as the box is, Elmo looks great. His fur is not dirty. It's not matted. There's nothing stuck to it. He obviously doesn't work because he's been in a box unused for 30 years. So I'm not going to take him out. I am not going to unbox him. I'm not going to change the batteries. What I'm going to do is list him as is untested. I did look these up, and there's a big range for Tickle Me Elmos. It's anywhere from $50 to $300. Now, of course, the $300 ones are pristine. This is not going to get me $300, okay? This is damage. This is pretty bad damage. And so I think if somebody wanted this one I think it's not going to go to someone who's a toy collector. I think it's going to go to someone who loves Elmo. That's kind of my feeling, because they're not going to care about the box too much. They're going to want this really nice, clean, snuggly, soft Elmo. So this was kind of a cool find. I was really excited to find it. I couldn't believe that it was just sitting there on the shelf. And yeah, so I felt like that was a lucky find. All right, bye Elmo. All right, so the first estate sale that my mom and I went to today, it was kind of a dud. There wasn't a whole lot of good stuff there, but I did get a few things. These are some electrical textbooks, and I've sold a few books kind of like this, some technical manuals. One of them in particular was from the United States Army, and I thought it was interesting because the person who bought it said, you know, thank you for making this available, and it was a really cool book. And so I buy, like I said, I buy on vibes a lot. And so I bought it because I thought it was interesting. It looked like something that people wouldn't find very often. And I was talking to my dad about it a few days ago, and he said that older textbooks usually go over theory more than the newer ones, because now people just look it up and they're just trying to find solutions. But these old texts, if you want to understand how something really works, people look for these older textbooks. Now, I buy on vibes again. I put these two together because they both have the beautiful waves on the front. So I don't know. I'm going to sell these as a lot to see how it does. I'm sure they're not expensive books. I have not looked them up yet or done any research, but I think it'll be interesting to find out if they sell. I did buy some more books. Whoop, at this other sale. This one is a Girl Scout manual. I've got a couple of Girl Scout things up already. Girl Scout memorabilia, Boy Scout memorabilia. This is stuff that people keep because it's memories from their children. And so usually it's something tender that parents keep. It's got good memories. Their kids enjoyed being in Scouts. And so I do see these every now and then. This one I thought was interesting because it's not the traditional Girl Scout book. This one's for the older girls. And so it's got all of the activities in there. I love all the illustrations. Sometimes they have the badge progress in the back. And I don't see that on here, but I thought this one was really nice. I don't see a year on it, but I haven't done the research on this one, so I'll report back if I find out what year this was. All right. This is one I got for my classroom just because my kids need practice with words sometimes, and I like Mad Libs. So this one, I thought it might be funny to see what an old Mad Lib book looked like. Let me see if I can find a year. 1968. Maybe I won't put this in my classroom. Maybe I'll look this up and see if this is actually worth something. If it's not worth anything, I'll put it in my classroom. If it's worth like $12 or more, I'll try and sell it. 1968 Mad Libs. Oh, it'd be fun if we did one together, like online. That would be so much fun. I'll see if I can make photocopies of this and share it. But yeah, Mad Libs. It's a traditional Mad Libs that you remember. You know, the format of Mad Libs did not change. What other book did I get? I got this public speaking book. This one's also for my classroom because the students that I'm teaching in this new school that I'm going to do have to do public presentations. They have to present to business and community leaders, and public speaking is a skill that you need to have. Public speaking is the number one fear amongst people, but it's something that we all should know how to do. And so I thought this was interesting. I don't mind that it's an older textbook because honestly, the art of public speaking doesn't change that much. The basics are still applicable here. And then I got this one. Now this one is a score for a movie or a musical. I don't know. What struck me is that I've seen this image on a poster before, and I really like that visual. And so I think even if someone was not into music or movies or perhaps musicals. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what kind of production this is. I think that they would enjoy, I think they would enjoy the art on here. So the date on this is 1971. If you know about this or any of these other things that I've shared, please tell me. A lot of times you guys know stuff that I don't, so we share information. But yeah, I buy on vibes. This one spoke to me. I love it. Let's see. In estate sales, you can often get just household goods. Look, full bottle of Jergens, $2. Again, this one's going to my classroom because a lot of my kids like to use lotion. They don't want to get ashy skin, so they love to use lotion. I usually keep some in the classroom alongside my hand sanitizer. And then, all right, this one I bought because it's kind of goofy, and I was thinking about my son John because he recently watched all the Star Wars prequels and was talking about how terrible they are. Collector's Edition, Star Wars Episode 1, and on the back it says it includes actual film strip from the movie. You can get 5 frames from the movie. Now this one is still sealed. I'm not gonna open it. I'm curious about what the film strip is, like what scenes are in here, but I'm not gonna open it to find out. So maybe there's some kind of Star Wars nerd who would like this. I'm gonna try and take this off without damaging it, because obviously if someone sees $8.99 on there and I'm trying to charge $30, that kind of kills it. I actually paid more than $8.99. Excuse me. The price was $10, but it was 30% off today, so I paid, oh, I didn't pay more than $8.99. I paid $7. Okay, cool. So, but still, like, the price didn't change that much. So I'm going to try and make a profit on it. So I'm going to sell it for more than $8.99. I'm going to try and take this off. Maybe the, excuse me, maybe the blow dryer trick will work, but I don't know how it's going to affect the plastic here. I need to get a drink of water. All right, the last thing I got at that estate sale, the man who lived there was a veteran, and I really liked this shirt. It has the Air Force on the side. So these can be collectible for people who were maybe in these units, or are fans of the military, or sometimes people just buy them because they look cool and they just like to add it to their wardrobe. But that's the last thing I got. Everything else there was kind of disappointing. It was just kind of your run-of-the-mill things. Every house has a Christmas section because everybody's got Christmas decorations. Sometimes they'll have like a big Halloween section or Thanksgiving or Easter, but every house has Christmas. And the thing about Christmas decorations is people don't usually spend a lot of money on them, and so they're not really worth anything. Nobody wants last year's felt Santa or the resin figurine that you bought at Walmart. So I don't usually find much stuff there. I do look just in case, because actual high quality vintage Christmas decor and Christmas ornaments can be valuable, especially when Elf on the Shelf first came out. Like the original 1950s elves blew up. Everybody wanted one. So they can be valuable, but most of what people have is just nothing. Okay, so then after that, my mom and I went to another estate sale, and we did get some really cool stuff at that one. So the first thing is probably my favorite thing. I probably shouldn't start with the best one, but it's on the top of my pile, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, they had some video games, and did I drop something? Oh, I dropped my receipt. Not video games, they had some board games. And so I like to look at board games because sometimes those can be really fun. But at the bottom of the stack, they had a Ouija board. And I know that these can be really valuable with collectors. And it's all about the planchette. So is it plastic or is it wooden? Now, I have not looked, so you guys get to look at it with me and find out, did I get a good wooden one or did I get the plastic one? The box is in pretty poor shape. That's disappointing. Oh, it's plastic. It's plastic and it is missing the finder here. So that decreases the value. Now it's not worthless, but it is not worth as much as if it had a wooden planchet and it still had the plastic bit there. So there is a little bit of damage here on the edge. The other edges look pretty good. There's no damage really here. There's a little bit of wear on the middle, but for the most part, this is in good shape. The felt is present. This one's a little bit rough, but the felt is there. So I paid $7 for this, and I will definitely make my money back. People love vintage Ouija boards. I don't know if they're like actually using them, or if they just put them in decor, they just like having them. I don't know. But I think it's cool. All right. The next thing I got as far as games is Wicket. I didn't even know Wicket, the Ewok, got his own board game. But if you like Wicket, then this board game is in near pristine condition. And it has the board, it has the instructions, and then they put all the little game pieces. Wicket and his little Ewok friends are all in here. I have not looked this up. I don't know if this is valuable or not. But like I said, I buy on vibes. I don't know. I just take a chance sometimes. And I just thought this one was cute. So hopefully this one will sell. Somebody will love it. This one, you can tell, is full of marbles. I thought this game was really interesting. It's kind of a competitive puzzle game. And there are marbles in here. You're trying to get yours to the bottom, to the center there. And these rings rotate. Now, I don't know how the gameplay goes. If you take turns... Oh, here we go. I could have read this. Obviously, I haven't done any research on it, but gameplay is in here. Outer stationary ring singly divided into 4 sections. Each player chooses a set of 5 marbles. Each player has a separate outlet. The player is allowed only 1 move at a time in regular section. I'm not reading all that. I'll read it later when I'm not on camera. So maybe that'll be something people like. If not, I'll play it. All right. Next thing, I do a lot of collectible plates. Usually I like to do souvenir plates from states. So like, hey, I went to Wyoming and I got this plate. I think those are really fun. But this one, again, buy on vibes, this one spoke to me. He's a Shriner and he got his butt kicked. I don't know why. I haven't done any research on it, but I'm going to find out. He's beat up, but he's happy about it. So it does have a maker on the back, so I can find out about the company that made it and maybe do some internet sleuthing and find out like what's the story with this guy. But I thought it was funny. I think this one has appeal even if somebody is not a Shriner. They might enjoy just kind of the goofiness of that situation. And it's a really nice well-made piece. One of the first things I spotted when I went in was this milk bottle. Let me unwrap it. They did a really nice job wrapping. All right. So this one is promoting pasteurized milk. It says pasteurized milk for health and protection. And judging by the haircut on the little girl, this might be from the 1920s. She's got that real short little bob with the blunt bangs across the top. So that's telling me that probably 1920s. But again, I haven't done any research on it. I'll have to see. I don't recognize any of these makers, but usually these help identify bottles if the image doesn't do anything for me. All right, last thing is I did get a lot of books at this one as well. I like to get children's books because, again, they have multiple avenues of appeal. And so people might buy them for nostalgia. They might buy them because they want to give it as a gift to somebody else, or maybe somebody else had a kid or a child, baby. They might use it for decor. Some people like to use it as ephemera and use it in scrapbooking or journaling because the images are really cool. Or they might use it in collage art. So there's a lot of different reasons why somebody might buy one of these. This one is a Dr. Seuss. It's Horton Hatches the Egg, but this is a promo magazine. So this was included when you buy one of these dish detergents, or yeah, so it's Crest, Wondra, and Prel. I guess that's a laundry detergent. So I thought this would be cool because this one also crosses over into collector genres. So you've got the Dr. Seuss, you've got the children's, and then you've got vintage advertising. I also got this Dr. Seuss, which was the same kind of a deal, another promo magazine. And did I ever tell you how lucky you are? Now, I don't think I've read this one, so I might have to flip through and read it before I start doing my research on it. So I got those two Dr. Seuss. I got some of smaller books. This one I bought because it was just really charming. Let me show you the picture that did it for me. Mr. Beaver ran up on Mr. Toad, and Mr. Toad's all puffed up, got his heckles up. And so that's why I got this one. It's just a charming, cute little book. 4 Little Kittens. Now, this one, I wasn't going to get it until I opened it up. And it's photographs. They used photographs. They dressed up their cats and took pictures and put them in this book. Now, if that doesn't, if that doesn't charm you, then I don't know what will. We also have Mr. T's Wilderness Adventure, part of, oh wait, there's stickers inside. I didn't pay much attention. I thought that was Reading Rainbow. Stickers. Oh, somebody took the stickers. All right, no stickers, but you do have Mr. T. Here's his dog, who also has a mohawk. And then here's Mr. T sensing that something's amiss. The kids need his help. And he's going to ski. He's going to ski in his cut-off shirt and go help them. And then he's going to save the day. Just pull this girl up off the ledge. So I got this. Again, I have not done any research. I have no idea how much these are worth. Okay, so the other kids' books I got were this one. Again, what I liked about this one is that it plays with text and layout. There are illustrations, which are really cute, very charming, but it does a lot with the capitalization, the layout. You have columns here. There was one page that I saw that had like trailing words. Yeah, like this. See, it is so fun. More books should do this and play with layout of words and interaction with the words and the illustrations. So there's color. I just thought this was really unique. And so I'll have to, again, do research on this one because I don't know anything about it, but this one really struck me as something cool. The Silver Whistle. This one has really gorgeous, really kind of trippy 70s illustrations. And so I thought that one was really cool. How the Tsar Drinks His Tea. This one seems like a folk tale, but look how beautifully it's illustrated. Gorgeous. We have Green Eyes, which is about a little kitty cat. Now, Mochi has blue eyes, so this isn't about him. But look how cute and sweet these pictures are. Look how tiny he is. Oh, little Green Eyes. And you can hear Mochi meowing now. Oh. Now I'm going to get sucked into this book and be like, oh, what's he doing? Oh, he's going to meet some chickens. I'm going to have to stop or else I'm going to go through this whole book. I got this one. This one's from the 1920s. Not creepy at all. But it looks like it is... It's not an advertising. because I know teddy bears were called after Teddy Roosevelt, so they hadn't been around for too long at this point. So I don't know. Again, I haven't done any research. I'll have to find out. But this one is not on normal paper. It's on some kind of like a thick, it's almost glossy paper. So even the interior pages. So there's something special about this. I'll figure it out. I like 1950s space books for kids because they have amazing illustrations. They really lay things out really well. And they include a lot of detailed scientific information, but it's in a format that's easy to understand. And the illustrations are really good. So I said 1950s. I didn't even look to see what year this one is from. Oh, 1983. Okay, I was off, but still, my point stands. They've got really great information. So I love those. Here's another Dr. Seuss. This one is also a magazine. Oh, you know what? No, this is the book, but I don't know why it's like this. So it's not a promotional, because it doesn't have the promotional things on the end. It's just a magazine of Did I Ever Tell You How Lucky You Are? Here's one about Halley's Comet. So this one, I'm guessing, is from the 80s because that's when Halley's Comet came around. Was it 1984? I don't remember. And then I thought this one was interesting. This one is If I Were in Charge of the World and Other Worries, Poems for Children and Their Parents by Judith Vorst. And these are cool books too because I think child psychology is really interesting. And the owner has bookmarked a specific page, so I don't know if she bought this with this poem in mind or needed it for a specific situation. But helping kids, you know, identify and manage their emotions is really important, and poetry is a good way to do that. So those are all the books I got. I also picked up some vintage gift, like greeting cards, and these are so cute. I picked the cutest ones that they had. So like this one, you can rock the little boy back and forth. Some of them are interactive. There was one that has, like this one unfolds. There was one that has like the bear has an eyeball that sticks out like a little glass eye. I like this one because this one almost looks modern. This looks like something that somebody might give somebody today. The Calico Dog and the Gingham Cat. I bought that one on nostalgia because I remember my grandmother reading this poem. This one was cute because it's actually a little book. And then here's a little dog. Did I get anything else? Oh. All right. I picked up some magazines. These were in the garage. And what I did was just a quick and dirty Google search on these titles. So the Dwight Eisenhower commemorative Time magazine, this one seemed to be worth a little bit. This Life magazine seemed to be worth maybe like $25. This one, Paris 1946. This one wasn't worth as much as the other one, but I think it's cool. I might look at this one myself and just kind of see what this one's about. And then I did not look this one up, but this is a book on the movie Cleopatra with Elizabeth Taylor. And if I remember right, this was one of the most expensive movies made at the time. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I thought this would be really cool for, again, you can go cross categories. You could be an Elizabeth Taylor fan, a movie fan, an Egypt fan, lots of different people. Costuming, I could see somebody into costuming or maybe set design really liking that. So I think that one's going to be a fun buy for somebody. I'm going to get it into the right hands. So I think that's everything. Did I get everything? If not, I'll just make another video. But thank you guys for sitting with me and going through all this stuff. If you have information about anything that I showed, share it with me. Or if you have a question that you want me to find out and maybe get back to you on, ask me. The interactive part is one of the best things about this is These items are part of our lives and part of our histories. And when we talk about them, when we share about them, we're sharing about ourselves. And I think that's super cool. So thank you for sitting with me. Talk to me. Let me know what you're thinking or if you have any questions. And I'll check back in with you next time. Bye.